All right, what's up? Let's do this. Xavier Garcia, welcome to the Ultimate Psychology channel, creating awesome videos to cure all your life. So check it out. A letter to my unborn child. That's right, to my son, to my daughter, but most likely my son. I'm speaking you into existence before you're even born, before before you've even been conceived. Okay, so check it out. We're on the verge of Father's Day 2020, and I lost my father 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago now. So I've been a man on my own. I've been coming into my own. I've been growing into myself. So whoever's watching this video, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you're just checking me out to see one man's letter to his unborn child, or if this is for you, son, mijo, mija, wherever you guys are at, whatever stage of life, whatever age you're at. If you're looking back at this before, at any time of your life, or even after my life has been passed. But God willing, God's given me the vision, and hopefully I see it to come to fruition because, His promises don't break. That we're going to live a long, healthy life together. Now I'm an older man now. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm 38, and just turned 38. And you've yet to be born. You've yet to be conceived. But I still have a big heart for you. And the inspiration from this video comes from Tupac, and he's one of my first, I guess you would say, role models in life. And hopefully you get a chance to study him, to learn about him, who he was, how he was. And I related with him in so many levels. And I wouldn't even say I'm a hip hop fan, but I was a Tupac fan. He's an artist. And so this is where I draw the inspiration from. But I am my own man, I'm original, but yet at the same time we have influences from other people. He's a black man, I'm a Chicano, and it's a beautiful thing, this culture, this American experience that we get to have, where we get to feed off of each other, build off of each other, and influence. And Pac had said one time that he doesn't think he can change the world, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he hopes to spark the mind that will change the world. And I hope to be part of that process. So this is in his memory. So, son, this is going out to you. I'm taking some notes, and there's just a lot of different ways to go here. So, and if you're watching, kick back, take a seat, and this is a letter to my unborn. I'm gonna name you a different name than what I've been given. You're not gonna be a junior, because I'm gonna be a big man. I'm going into my own. I'm gonna have my own fame and fortune, and I don't want to overshadow you with that. And I'm the third. I came into this world, but third time's a charm. So for me to make you in my own name would be to overdo it. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong for anybody else, but this is just how it's been. And I only felt this way until I met your mom, because before your mom, I thought I was always gonna have Xavier the Fourth, Xavier, because I love my dad so much. I love your grandpa, your tata, so much that I admired him and I honored him so much, and I love the relationship that we had, him and I had, and I wanted to be just like him in so many ways, in all ways. And because I had such a love and affinity and affection towards him, I would think that it'd be the same ways likewise. So I never try to overtake his place or overtake or overthrow his throne. But I wanted to feel what that looks like, because I had so much love going up this way. I can't even imagine how much love he had, looking down. So that's why you don't have my name. But hopefully, I think I found your name, and hopefully, God willing, you're gonna be donned with it, right? So that's that. Finding your mother was the biggest journey of my life, the greatest adventure. I'd gone through a relationship before that was long, wasn't a marriage, but it was pretty much, we were like almost practicing it. And so she could have been your mother, and thank God she's not, and she wasn't. But God works in mysterious ways, and thank God for answered prayers. Though I wish her nothing but love. But when it came to your mom, what I was looking for in a woman and a wife and a mother for you is that my mom, your grandma, your Nana Norma, she had set the standard, because I love my mom so much that I don't want to cheat my son. I had to get it right. I wanted to get it right. So I wanted to make sure that you have the same experience that I have with an unconditionally loving mother. And so that's what you have. And so it took me forever to find her. It took me so long, in fact, and I hope it doesn't take you this long, but I didn't meet her until I was 32. And even at that fact, Nana Norma was like, she didn't even think I was going to get married because it took so long, and it seemed like that long. And for someone who grew up with so much promise and so much hope and potential, like a golden child, and to be like, what happened? I thought he was going to be something special, somebody special, and just didn't turn out that way. But then But God, right? God, you go through hell, you think all is lost, and then God creates a miracle out of that death. And so I'm in my kind of the resurrection life when it comes to relationships, and now I'm going to be living happily ever after and staying in love forever with your mom. So that's your mom and the journey that it took to find her for you, and that's how important it was to me, because I loved you and I had the idea of you either simultaneously or even before your mom, and so I had to find the right woman, and I didn't want to get her. I didn't want to mess it up because I didn't want no baby mama drama, and I seen too much of that. You know, my parents split when I was 3, and you know, it's not the end of the world because that happens to so many kids these days. It's almost commonplace. It's normal, unfortunately, but there's so many benefits. Now, you know, you could be given a silver spoon, and pretty much basically you're going to be born with the silver spoon, in fact, but I'll get to that in a second. But you know, it's better that when you have your chance to set it up, that you find the woman of your dreams, and you guys make it happen, and you pick the right one. And it's tremendous. There's so many options out there. There's so much variety, but no one could take the place of the one who you're meant to be with. And so you're gonna need lots of God's guidance for that. So lean on Him and rely on Him and depend on Him, because she's not gonna be served up to you any other way. It just doesn't happen that way. But first, you got to be the man who you need to be for her to be attracted to that, or for you to have the skills and abilities to sift through everything and everyone and everybody, so that you can tell, you know, real gold from fool's gold. And so, and there's a lot of pretty things. There's a lot of great options out there, people with great talents and abilities and features, but you have to be able to cut through that stuff. And there might be some trial and error and some experiences, but I also do pray for your integrity and for your purity throughout that journey and adventure. So, yeah, your mom was important to me to find her. So as I read through my notes here, I got to remember what I meant when I actually wrote these out of my. Okay, so, yep. What Tata was like Xavier. You know, I always wanted to be like Tata, but I couldn't be. I wasn't him, and I'm not him. And it took me, you know, my dad was a big man. He was a big man, big strong man, big loud voice, but I just didn't kind of get that. And I was always waiting for me to be like him, and I never turned out to be like him. But his life journey and his life path was different, and he came out through the barrio, some tough neighborhoods, and a tough life, a hard life, and he made something great and gave me a chance to have life. And even though they split apart, he always stayed and remained my best man. We talked almost every day on the phone throughout childhood. I moved to San Diego, and we still stayed close until the very end, until he passed away at the age of 32, when I was 32. So, and I'll show you pictures of him and what little videos that we have. There's a great story, and he's just super awesome. He was a fighter, a hard worker, commanded respect by his presence. He hated bullies. Just a super cool guy. You know, putting God first in your life. If there's only one thing I can teach or share with you, it's that you put God first and you find your relationship with Him apart from us. You know, because we're going to share with you what we can, but I hope you can pick that up for your own. You take it and you run with it, and you live the life that He wants to have with you as your guide, as your heavenly Father, as your ultimate Father. Because I'm just your earthly father. There's only so much I can teach you, and so far I can take you. But he's got to be number one, first and foremost. And let Jesus be your primary and your ultimate role models. And of course, that's being in fellowship with other believers and looking to how He lived out His life in the Bible. Before any kind of material success, you got to have that spiritual success. And you know, and living in these times right now, we're going through some racial turmoil and all that stuff right now in America. And you're kind of unique. You're gonna have a unique experience. You're gonna be a quarter white, or you are a quarter white. You're a quarter Filipino, and you're half Mexican. And so this is gonna be a unique thing for you. And it's kind of unique to me because I always thought I was gonna marry like an Aztec princess or something, and that didn't happen. But what I've learned along the years is that it's not about race. It's about values and it's about character. So when you do get married and you decide to reproduce or procreate, it's about finding the right woman who has the values and the character the best. So if you're looking for the best, that's what you look for. You look for the best character, the best values, the best principles. That will provide for the strength that you need to have a lasting partnership that's going to have the most fulfillment, joy, and all kinds of beautiful things that when you're going for something just a little bit less than 100%, you can be miles away, miles apart. Your heritage, be proud of who you are, what you come from. Never forget where you come from. People are always going to look at you anyways. They're gonna say something about you, whether it's your privilege or being born into an affluent home, or even if you're not even good enough, because based on your last name, depending on what powers that be that seem to have more power or authority. But that doesn't matter. We live in an open society, and you're gonna have difficulties, you're gonna have challenges, you're gonna have unique things, but you're also gonna have things that are common to every man or woman wherever they're at in stage of life. You can be hated. If there's a reason to succeed, then you're gonna have opposition for everything. And so don't take the bait. It's there. There's reasons, all the reasons why you shouldn't succeed, but there's more than enough of reasons why you can succeed and you should succeed and you ought to succeed. And I want to say this. I was going to say this to the end, but I'll get to it right now. My motto in life is love with freedom. And this is the ultimate guiding principle for me. And this is still something that I'm even growing into. But it's living with the open heart. It's loving even when it's hard and when it hurts and it's difficult. And I'm not perfect at it, but I'm developing excellence for it. And so these things that I'm going to teach you are not going to be good enough for you. I might change the world. I might be #1 motivational speaker in the world at some point in time. But whatever that is, whatever I have to give to you is just barely enough for you so that you can begin your own journey and you become your own man. And so I hope that I'm your default, but I hope I'm the worst you can be. But I also do hope that I'm an inspiration for you, because the thing is I reached my height. I reached my maximum. I fulfilled my potential. I believe in my heart of hearts, God willing, from a place of humility, that obviously nothing was perfect and things could have went differently. Hindsight is always 20/20, but I do have, I could be able to say it as well with my soul, in the sense that I believe God will, and I hope that He says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." And so whatever you got to get to your place, and that's without lying to yourself, right? Being honest, and Grandpa used to tell me that, Tata Xavier used to say, don't bullshit yourself, but to the fact that you can legitimize your manhood, and you become your own man. And it might not be the way I want you to find it or the path that I want you to go on, but at all costs, do it. There's a great movie, it's called Pursuit of Happiness, and Will Smith is a famous actor, and he tells his son in the movie, it's also his real son in real life, it's like, don't ever let me tell you that you can't do something, right? If someone tells you can't do something, don't listen to them. If you know in your heart and you know your mind, you can put your mind to it and you can make it happen, then you go do for it. Because anytime you do anything that's extraordinary, that's out of the ordinary, that most people don't do or can't do, they can't comprehend that. So don't blame them or fault them for that, for only seeing what they can see, or only seeing, because you can only give what you got. And if people can only have a certain amount of potential or vision for themselves, they can't imagine a bigger, more potential for you, only until as far as they can see. So I'm not going to see as far as you can see. So there's going to be a little gap between us, and that's where you're going to have your liberty there. And I pray that you use that power, that liberty, wisely and responsibly. On that journey towards that manhood and that self-respect, enjoy the process as much as you can. And of course, you'll hear that over and over again, enjoy the process, but it's obviously easier said than done. It's a lot easier to say it on this side, because that's something I wish I would have done better in my journey. I've learned how to do that, but I've kind of also arrived. And I'll always be going up. There's always the next level, the next step, but there's a certain step where you feel good about yourself and you're rolling and you become unstoppable. And no regrets. Live your life with no regrets. When Dad was on his deathbed, and I knew he was sick in the last couple of years. We didn't know how long he was going to stay, if he was going to get the transplant or not, or whatnot. And I decided to make my peace with him. So whenever you can make your peace with me legitimately, right? And you'll know if you can do it. Because sometimes what we think we can do it, we make our attempts and then we fall short. And there's no shame and no harm in doing that. You do the best you can, you learn from it, you adapt, and you go for it again until you get the victory. You never quit. You got to be committed to it, to success. And but having no regrets. So I knew, again, hindsight is 2020, but I always did the best that I could, relatively speaking. So that way, if it was the last time that I talked to him or the last time that I saw him, yeah, it would be painful. But I knew I relatively speaking, did the best that I could, and there's no regrets. Because I see other people doing that. I knew not to make that mistake, and thank God I didn't. And so that's also one of my wishes for you, is to live your life with no regrets. And that doesn't mean, well, it's common sense. You know what it means. It means to do your best and not to do stupid things and say, I don't regret it. That's from a place of pride. But obviously you have to own up and take ownership of your actions, but live your life with no regrets, and you'll have a free conscience. You'll be guilty free for the most part, in the sense that you can feel good about yourself, and that you did the best you could. Because when I go, or when anyone else goes, or anything like that, or for whatever the reason that you might need to apply this principle of no regrets, you can keep moving forward and keep progressing and being progressive. If this is making sense to you, because I'm a little rambling right now. Find meaningful work, make events special. There's a lot of people out there that are, misery loves company. There's a lot of people out there that, it's just another day, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. You have to learn how to cut your losses, and you can't make the most of everything. But any chance that you got to make anything special, then do it, because that's what makes life life. Life is about magnifying the human experience. And if we're always downplaying everything, because here's the thing, when people upplay things, and maybe they didn't get the results that they want, people make fun of them, or they feel bad about themselves, and then they stop. They have what's called, they learned helplessness, and they start to give up, and or their birthdays come along, it's just another day, and it's cool, but part of that's a little false humility. Like, get real with yourself. All right, be the realist. And it means nothing. It can mean nothing. If you read Ecclesiastes in the Bible, it's all meaningless anyways. But you have to get nothing and turn it into something. And that's the magic of life. Okay, that's what makes it special. Bring in that attitude. You have the natural life, and you bring the supernatural to it. You have an ordinary life, and you bring an extraordinary to life. And that's what makes it look living. Then you'll have fun. That's where the fun people live at. And being conscious of that, making that habitual, you have a super awesome life. Find a wife. This can be the most important decision and investment you make long term, because they're going to have the greatest impact on the quality of your life. And I discussed how to go through that earlier. Make money, make lots of money. Find your true gift, and make a contribution with that. Find what your gift is, and maybe it take a while. You might have to try so many different things to know what you are uniquely suited to do and what you are here to bring to humanity. You might not be the number one motivational speaker in the world, but you don't have to have the happiness, to have fulfillment, to get that well done, good and faithful servant, right? To feel like your life mattered and it was meaningful and it was worthwhile, and that you made a difference, and you experienced significance from living and being here. Because you're not a mistake. God doesn't make mistakes. And so you're something beautiful that I'm excited for. You're going to help me grow. You're going to make me experience growth, as well as the people around you. So this is going to be fun and exciting times. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy for you. I'm trying to make a life for you that's better than I had, even though I just feel like I'm tremendously blessed, as are you. And so you're going to have things that I didn't have. You're going to have a two-parent home your whole life. Your parents are together. And I hope that you can thank me for that, because I sacrificed a lot of my life, not only for my own personal pleasure, but for yours as well. Because again, I cared for you and I loved you before I fathered you. It's going to require, this world is a fallen world, and it can be a cruel place out there. And so you're going to need a lot of patience. And if there was one or a few things that Grandpa taught me, was to have patience. I'm 38 years old, and I'm starting to get my stride in life. And it was tough in my early years. all throughout my life where you see other people doing better than you, being more successful, and it's tough, and you feel like you have a lot to give and you're not doing it. And hopefully I'm going to help you get a great start fast in life, and I want to give you that life advantage. You're going to have a lot of haters for that, but then there's going to be a lot of injustices in life, but you got to have the patience for them. You got to have the endurance to last the race till you can finally get your day in the sun too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Those are some of the things that I learned, and you know, and I'll be going over this with our values as we grow up. You know, integrity first, love, health, gratitude, and wisdom. You take these three values. You honor our name, make Garcia a name of honor, a family of honor, and we'll do well. So I'm just going to pass you the baton, and you take it and you run with it. And I know it's going to be the future is compelling. So God bless you, and love with freedom. So I wish you the best. So anyone who's watching, thank you so much for watching. This is a letter. It's been a letter to my unborn child who's yet to come, and wish me luck or whatever. And thank you for watching. I hope this inspires you and encourages you to set legacy things for your child and for yourself that make life meaningful and magnificent. God bless you too, and love with freedom. Peace. Thank you for watching. Xavier Garcia out.